All right, we're here. Second episode in, mind you. This is week two. Two?
Yeah.
Or that's
Week
four.
two.
Two.
Yes, 2 plus 2 is 4. Yes.
Minus one, that's three. Quick math.
Right.
I haven't heard that song in like a year. No, so anywho, let's talk a little bit about, because me and you actually haven't spoken for like the week that we were off. That we
No,
now.
like not at all. We've been busy running back and forth. Yeah, it's been a fun week.
So the last time we really spoke, minus a message here or there, was on our last episode. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. And I must say, one of the biggest highlights for my past week is I tried to start this a long time ago, and I never really did, but I'm finally on Disney Plus watching Wizards of Waverly Place all the way through.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I totally forgot that was on there.
Dude, I love it. I'm currently on season 3. I've watched the first 2 seasons in the first movie. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot they made movies. You know what? She asked me the other day. She said, "Do you want to watch the SpongeBob movie?" I was like, "Dude, I totally forgot about that movie. Totally forgot about that movie."
Which one?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the one with what was the guy that put him between his chest and shot him out? What was his name?
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff. That's it. Oh my God, that's the greatest one. That's
we
the best
rode the Hasselhoff. We brought the crown back.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
I haven't seen the new one though, or the newer one.
Yeah, no. Sponge out of water. Yeah, it's not very good.
Sponge out of, that's what it's called?
Yeah, they become superheroes on the surface.
No, I've never seen that. Never seen that one. I think she was talking about the old one. They're like, "We're goofy goobers."
Yeah. That's probably definitely the one.
Shed a tear and come back to life.
Dude, that
I know. They had, okay, all right, real talk for a second. I wish I could find the post, but they had a thing. It was like saddest movie deaths, okay? Saddest movie deaths. There were some people on there. It was like Glenn from The Walking Dead, some guy from Grey's Anatomy. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I have no idea what his name is.
I've never seen a
single
single
episode. Then they had Mufasa. They had Mufasa from The Lion King. And people were answering like Glenn from The Walking Dead. Are you kidding me? Mufasa is the saddest death of all.
I'm really going to out myself right now, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this from you and from everyone else. I've never sat down and watched The Lion King in its entirety. Now, I know the entire movie because I've seen it, bits and pieces here and there, but I've never watched it from start to finish.
That is one of the that's a vault classic. How have you not seen that? They remastered it, for God's sakes. What are you talking about?
When I think Disney, I'm an Aladdin guy. I love Aladdin.
Oh my God. Well, okay, yeah. I'm an Aladdin fan. I enjoy Aladdin, but Lion King is a classic. Like Aladdin is too, but Lion King is like when you think of Disney, you think of Aladdin or a Lion King.
Yeah, you think of Aladdin now. I don't know. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should definitely get on that. It's on Disney Plus. I'm sure.
I was going to say you have Disney Plus. It's got to be.
Yeah. Well, that's the
if not, I'll send it to you.
That's the thing, though. When I was younger, The Lion King never intrigued me. I guess I don't know why it didn't. I mean, okay, I take that back. I've never watched The Lion King in its entirety, but I don't remember which one it was. It was one where it's just mainly Timon and Pumbaa. Lion King 2.5.
They had spinoffs. They had 1.5 or 2.5 or something like that. Yeah, I see. Those are the ones that I've never seen. I haven't seen the 2.5 and 1.5 because I don't really get it. I like the original Lion King. I will say, unpopular opinion, I absolutely hated the live action.
I can't comment on it.
I know you can't comment on it, but I didn't like it. So the people watching, you can comment, but I didn't like it.
Speaking of not a fan. Disney live action remakes, though, I did really like the Aladdin remake.
Oh yeah,
I really liked it.
That was amazing. That was perfect. So when I watched it the first time, I watched it in theater because obviously I was a huge fan of Disney. Right. So when we watched it the first time, I don't know what it was, but it seemed very you could tell that it was not real. You could tell that it was very edited. Extremely edited, which I know sounds really stupid. I don't really know the right word. I'm trying to think of the word off the top of my head. But when I watched it again, I watched it later, and it looked so smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was just like they tweaked it before they released it again, or what. Because they released it out on DVD and everything. But I watched it again later on a website, and I loved it. Like it was it was very smooth. You didn't see any of the editing. It was really, really crisp and clean. But the first time I watched it, I really wasn't impressed, but it was still good. I mean,
obviously it's not better than the Robin Williams Genie, but I really liked
rest in
Will.
peace to the GOAT. I mean, come on.
I really liked Will Smith as the Genie.
Oh yeah, he was phenomenal.
Thought it was really good.
Phenomenal. But I think that's something that you and I talked about whenever it first came out, is that I didn't want it to be Will Smith acting like Robin Williams.
Yes.
I wanted Will Smith to act like Will Smith and to do his own thing, and he did. I mean, he kind of threw some of his style into the movie. I thought it was great.
Yes, he did. There was a lot of R&B and like hip hop themes throughout like his music.
Yeah.
He would change some of the classic songs, some lyrics thrown in here and there to add to that. Really, just feel the genre he was, going for. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Completely
Fantastic.
Getting off the movie topic. Well, we'll be back to the movie topic because now I've got another craving I need to tell you about. No, I'm getting ready for a big move. Big move.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Yeah, I recently, like I had said on the previous episode, I was in the middle of moving stuff from my prior residence to here.
Right.
Now I am getting ready again. This is like a buffer period. See, this was all meant to be.
It's like a transition. It was a transition job.
It was all meant to be like a one and done. You know. Boom, boom, and then when everything happened, I kind of had to put a halt. I had to just be like, okay, I got to come here for a little bit, get my footing again. And so now I am officially ready here in like the next week and a half to move once more for the second time. Third.
Second time in 2 months.
From independence to coming the little buffer period to independence again. And I'm really excited. I'm just beyond excited, because I didn't I knew I was going to have to do it anyways because the school year was ending and all that jazz. So I knew it was coming.
Abruptly.
Yeah, very abruptly. I knew it was coming. I was like, I really don't want to, you live on your own for so long and you're like, man, I really don't want to go back to not doing that. So
no, I agree 100%. I've been independent for 3 years. It's not something that I'm really like. I love my parents, don't get me wrong, but I would be like, I don't really know if I want to come back. I'd try to find something else. I'd try to find an apartment or something else.
Yeah, you get your own little, you get your own mojo going. You got your things you do, things you're used to. And so, for example, I'm a night owl. I do a lot of stuff at night. I've worked a lot of like third shift jobs in my life. So, it's not weird for me to be up at 2 a.m. Now, obviously, if I'm living with my parents, I got to respect that they have work in the morning. So if it's 2 a.m., I'm not in and out of the house, not, being loud because they've got work in the morning.
Making ramen at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well,
do it anyway.
But when you have your own place, you can kind of do that. I mean, if you live with somebody, maybe not, and it's different. But I'm definitely excited that that's coming up. And, I really, moving forward, I'm trying to figure out, because this time, my last residence, I had a roommate, which might end up guesting on the show, depending. I mean, he wants to.
Could be, yeah.
He wants to. So, and that's, was nice. He was my age and all that jazz, living with a roommate. But this is the first time where it's just me,
Right.
I'm all my own here. And I'm doing a 2-bedroom of where I'm going, even though it's just me, because I'm actually preparing, and this is pretty cool. I haven't told you this yet, and I'll have to show you because I've got big plans.
Oh God!
It's becoming a full-on Stream Deck office.
There you go.
I've got.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah, I've got some green screens coming in. I've got some light bars, Stream Decks. I'm really excited. That's a big.
So that's
move.
That's the new area for the podcast. That's where we're going to start recording.
Yeah, you'll see it there.
Right.
It's a big step in the kind of, entrepreneur world that I'm trying to pursue.
Right.
It's pretty crazy.
No, it's
Pretty
exciting
crazy.
stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
that's something that I would love to do. I mean, to kind of create your own space. And a lot of the podcasters that I watch, they do that kind of stuff. They have their own area where like they have a house, but then they have like a separate area to get their stuff done or whatever. It's kind of nice. And sometimes they use their friends or whatever, but normally it's people that they're doing the podcast with.
Mhm.
Obviously we're doing it together, so it makes sense, for us to do it in the same area. And like you said, we've talked about actually once all this crap is over and we can kind of go back to normal ish,
Eesh.
we'd like to have live videos, and set them up and be able to record and have a green screen and have a background and do those kinds of things where we can actually do what
Mhm.
we want to do. This
Yeah.
is just kind of temporary. I mean, this is what we have to do for now because we're, staying at home and
Mhm.
we're not seeing each other, whatever. But even though I don't think we're infected, but whatever, it's fine. But that gives us another platform to use. I mean, YouTube's cool. I mean, we've uploaded to your page, Mew52 on YouTube, and the videos, and that's my favorite part. I know podcasts in the past, like I know like Joe Rogan, for example. He, his podcast has a video, but for 3,000 episodes, it didn't. But now they're realizing that adding a video is kind of neat. Like people kind of want to see the guests, because they want to see you talk and those kinds of things. So I think it's cool to have a video. I think it's nice.
And
Plus, people
I
know
agree.
us.
Yeah, the people do know. It's a lot of like when we're starting off here, a lot of the people are going to be people we know.
Right.
I do like the video supplement. Obviously, I'm more of a call me old fashioned, but a lot of the podcast when I listen to just audio.
Right.
But I want to put a quick little plug here to all of the people that watched and listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm blown away. I checked it right before we started recording this, and we are recording this on Monday. Yes, it's Monday.
Monday. Yes. Yes.
Um, so I looked at it and I was like, let's see where we're at. We are currently at 170 views, 11 likes, and then we had somebody comment. So that to me is astounding.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
for a first time, rough draft, not ever doing this before, editing on the same day, like phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And I really appreciate you editing the video. I mean, I can't do it. I would have no idea what I'm doing. You have all that set up. I'll handle the social media and the people. You handle the editing. I don't know what I'm doing.
yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing. Thank you guys.
And speaking of handling the people, it was from the little contact that we had been talking to each other over the past week. You did mention that some people have reached out to you with, I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to mention them by name, but have gave you kind of not suggestions, but feedback. That's what I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
just
Feedback
good
on the show.
feedback. I mean, that's kind of why I brought up the video. A good friend of mine that I've worked with for many years, he sent me a message, and we went to school together as well. But he sent me a message, and he was like, I was intrigued the entire time. I never turned it off. I listened to it. I may have walked away, but it was still in the background. And he was like, I appreciate the video, because facial expressions are important to some
Yes.
people. Whenever you're talking about something, or I hold up a piece of paper that has something on it, or whatever. I pick up this rock. Yeah. I mean, people want to see it. If you say, well, I'm holding a rock, and they can't physically see the rock, some people don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, he reached out to me and was like, I'd love to be on a future podcast, which he's a good friend of mine. I don't think you know him, but he's a good friend of mine. I'll tell you his name later, but he really appreciated it. And we had a lot of people, not only him, there's a lot of people that reached out to me, and to the page, just kind of, stating they appreciated it. It was cool. It was fun. It was funny. It was interesting. That's what we want to do.
And that's awesome. That to
Yeah.
me, that's a good stride forward, because going into these, it's all risk. It's kind of like gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not comfortable at all. It's not something we're like, oh yeah, just throw up a video. It's no big deal. It was like every 10 minutes I was checking to see how I was doing, just out of curiosity.
And it's always hard when you go online and you create something, and to put it out there for others to see, for the public. I mean, sure, people we know are going to see it. I mean, some random Joe could be on YouTube and could just,
right.
You never know. Somebody
Type in podcast and our shit pops up. I mean, it could happen.
And then so all those people across the world are seeing this and seeing us, and that can be scary. And you guys watching it and leaving feedback and liking, just watching, commenting, any of that jazz is really reassuring for us to continue.
It means
on.
a lot to us too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
that's for sure.
Not only if you've got any kind of constructive criticism, I mean, you can get a hold of any of the pages, comment on that, and we would love to see that.
Yeah, and I would love to on the next YouTube video or something. I would love to upload, put in the description the Instagram, Facebook pages.
Yeah.
Just go follow them, give them a like, send them a message, whatever. Like we said in the last one too, I kind of want to reiterate. If you have any topics you want to talk about, I know, like my buddy that I was talking to, he's like, "Oh, I have things I would love to talk about." And I was like, "Sure, yeah. I mean, bring them along or send them to me or whatever. We'll talk about it. Obviously, keep names confidential, but we'll help out as much as we can."
And speaking of which, I actually had somebody reach out to me, like personally. They had reached out. They had my contact information, that had watched it and had given some tips. Had wished us good luck. Had sent some more statistics about different things that we talked about. That way we could fact check on that. And that was awesome to hear.
Yeah.
If that person is listening to the podcast now, thank you so much for sending that, because that really, it allowed us to look at some of the statistics. That way we can kind of fact check ourselves and stuff like that. Anything like that is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and to reiterate again, I just forgot how to talk. Reiterate.
Well, what is English?
To reiterate, I can't say it. To reiterate again, we're not experts. we just kind of say what we know-ish, whatever. But obviously we know what's happening in the current situation, and it's terrible. But we're not experts, so.
All this social media talk has me thinking, and I want to know, because I was the bad friend in this situation, and I'm trying to repair that. I want to know if you decide to push on with it. Have you watched any more of You season 2?
I have not.
Really?
I have not. I have not touched it. I know. Okay, so there's a story behind this. So let me tell this story. Not going to go into full detail, but I'll tell the story. So one night, Dylan and I he was staying at my house. And I had woken up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember why. I would woken up like 3 o'clock in the morning, stumbled out to the living room. Dylan's laying on, I have to tell you a sad story after this as well. Sad story. The 8-foot beanbag chair, and he was taking a nap and he was watching this show. So he was kind of like dozing off and like watching or whatever. So I sat down and I was like, "What is this?" And he was like, "It's called You." And I was like, "All right, whatever." You were on episode 2 or 3, weren't you? Yeah, 2. You weren't even on the first one. And I sat down and started watching it and got immediately hooked. We watched the entire first season in like a day and a half. And then we had to wait, until Christmas?
A year, yeah, just
about
a year.
It was after Christmas at some point of in 2019.
I think January.
Was it January?
December or January. I think it was December 31st, actually.
It was it was around that. And so we had to wait and wait for it. And Dylan was like, yeah, I'll wait for it. No big deal. No big deal. Well, you had gone, such a dumb story, but you had gone off to college and you watched it by yourself. And so then you came back and we kind of started watching it. But no, I have not watched a single episode. We're on we're on episode 3?
Something like that.
I believe.
And it's good because I'm there. I'm still going to rewatch the season. I'll watch it with you.
Yeah, but now we can't do it at all.
That's true. But I was so far away. It had all the excuses. And it was this big title card at the top of Netflix. And now my thumbs.
Yeah, see, but you waited on El Camino, and I drove all the way up there for El Camino.
Yes, which was phenomenal.
Yeah, which was great. Any Breaking Bad fans out there, that movie was awesome.
And I want to take credit.
It was awesome. If you haven't seen Breaking Bad by now, what?
I want to take credit for getting you into Breaking Bad.
Okay, all right, yeah. So let me talk too. You, Dylan, whenever we first became friends, had really dumb decisions. Really dumb, like. Yeah, not dumb decisions, but you had like dumb suggestions, and there were shows that I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't care about it. then you got me on this stupid Breaking Bad, and I couldn't get off of it. So then that was another one where I wasn't watching it unless you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was over the summer. So you were there just about every day at my house. I mean, we were chilling in the living room and watching shows or whatever. So that was a constant thing. And we finished that whole series. And then what else did we watch? We watched Lord of the Rings.
All of them. No, not only that, we watched all of the Hobbits.
The extended series. We watched I don't even know 30 hours of these movies. Like they were at least 6 hours long. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so I am a huge Tolkien fan. I'm actually on my quick plug on my stream and playing through Lego The Hobbit. But anywho,
I'm gonna plug your stream at the bottom too.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
but so I'm like, you know what, Aaron? Have you ever seen The Lord of the Rings? He's like,
no.
And I'm like, okay,
no.
Well, hear me out.
And I was really not interested. I was like, no, like I don't get into fictional lore like that. I'm just not a big fan. But go ahead.
He was kind of like, yeah, like you said, he was a little like not sure about it. So I'm like, no, listen, these are really good, And I had a plan. I was being like mischievous. I was like, we're gonna watch them, but we have to start with The Hobbit. The Hobbit is like the prequel to The Lord of the Rings. Right. So from The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey to The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, I said, we'll watch them together. I won't make you do it by yourself. But I, since, was the one leading this whole thing, made us watch the extended edition of all 6 movies.
I don't think that was on purpose, though. Okay, maybe it was. But still, like, we want each movie, an extended version is like 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I have the attention span of a gnat. So like 2 hours in, I'm like bored, and then it kicks off, and then it takes off for the next 2.5 hours. So I mean, they're great. If you haven't watched them, watch them. They're phenomenal.
However, there's 2 scenes, one in The Hobbit and one in The Lord of the Rings, that you can't stand.
Oh my God, no, no. Dude, the spiders, they're freaky, man. I covered my head the entire time. Can't do it.
Yeah, the whole time they were in spoiler alert for any of the people that are going to...
No, it's not a spoiler alert. Just skip over it.
Well.
Don't even watch it.
The Mirkwood scene, it's phenomenal.
Oh, it's terrible.
I loved it.
Terrible. And then, what's his name? I can't remember all their names. Gets wrapped up by the spider?
Well, all of them get wrapped up by the spider in The Hobbit.
No, but in the Lord of the Rings.
Frodo,
thank you.
Yeah, and then Sam like fights off the spider.
Yeah. I gotta remember their name. I gotta watch them again because
that's what I was gonna say.
I'm really bad at remembering names.
After this is over, the first day that everything's lifted, I'll be over there with The Unexpected Journey.
We'll start. We'll get popcorn. We'll get snacks. We'll get drinks, and we'll just start them all over again.
All in one day.
Oh my God! Didn't we do the math? It's like 28 hours to watch them all, or 20 or 23. It's like you could do it in a day if you stay up 24 hours. You can do it in one day.
I think
continuously,
I don't remember.
No breaks, continuously. It's something like that. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of movie.
I actually don't remember what the math was on that, but I think you're right on that. I actually.
How many are there total?
There's 6. 3 Hobbit, 3 Lord of the Rings.
4 times 6 is 24 hours, or at least maybe 4 hours, 3 hours and 30 minutes on one, and 4 hours and 30 minutes on another. So they're at least 24 hours.
I think the Hobbit extended versions are a little shorter. I think than the Lord of the Rings. Like literally, the Return of the King, the last Lord of the Rings movie, is almost 5 hours.
Yeah, that one was hard to get through. If you remember, we had to split them up. There was a couple we had to split up. I mean, we couldn't watch them all in one go. And then it was like, I'll never forget too. I'd come home from work and I'd text Dylan and be like, hey, you coming over to watch Lord of the Rings? Wouldn't answer. And I'm like, all right, cool. So then it was like, let's watch the first 2 hours and then not watch the second 2 hours 4 days later. So we forgot everything that happened. Or I forgot. Dylan hasn't because he's watched them probably 400 times.
Yeah, I know.
But I forgot everything that happened. So we had to go back and kind of rewind and watch the stupid spiders again. Ridiculous.
I'm actually listening to an audiobook of The Fellowship.
Oh yeah,
on Audible.
I've thought about doing that. I thought about getting into audiobooks because I hate to read, but I could listen to somebody read.
The only reason I'm doing it is because I forgot to cancel my Audible subscription and it charged my card anyways, so I may as well take advantage.
That's awesome.
To cancel.
Oh, do you get a 30-day subscription or something?
Yeah, you get a 30-day free trial, and the way Audible's membership works is it's partnered with Amazon. So like you buy the audiobooks off the Amazon store, and then the Audible's the app you use to listen to them.
Oh, okay.
But if you're an Audible member, you get 1 free credit a month and that credit you can use to get any book for free. And then you get 2 credits for Audible exclusives.
Audible subscribers. Anyway, go ahead. Sponsor us.
This podcast is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I'm joking. I'm joking. No sponsors.
No sponsors.
Don't want to get attacked.
McDonald's actually emailed me. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute. I got an email. Audible heard? No.
They're listening.
They're like, heard you accidentally canceled your subscription.
Yeah. I heard you're listening to Lord of the Rings. Want a free sponsorship?
Yeah, that's been my life, really. I'm getting ready for this move. Been doing a lot of stuff with Tolkien on my stream side of things.
Yeah.
Been shredding some Guitar Hero.
There you go. Yeah, you had your guitar pre-stream. I saw it. Yeah. Well, mine's out in the garage. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Have it sitting right next to me. I was shredding before we did the podcast today.
I haven't been doing a whole lot. I've been kind of just chilling.
Well, it's a shame. My guitar broke. My real guitar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like,
broke. To fill those in, Aaron knows a little bit about it. So, we have cats. 4 cats, and God bless their souls. Sometimes they can be, a little mischievous. So my dad has a guitar, but he has like a hard case for it, and I had my guitar downstairs, and was playing around with it, and I only have a case it's not hard. It's like a what's the word? A fabric case.
Fabric, yeah. Very thin.
Yeah, it's very thin. So I'm sitting there and I lean it up against my dad's guitar case, which is not very good guitar etiquette in general. That's kind of my fault. Well, the cats saw it and were kind of messing around, and one of them went to run in between. So here's the guitar and here's the case. It's leaning like this. So they went to run, I think, underneath, and they had hit my guitar and it fell over. And the guitar itself, the actual body in the neck is fine, but the headstock actually snapped. So it kind of ruined it. Dad feels bad, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get you another one." I told him, I was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not my fault. I shouldn't have left it down there."
I'll never forget when you called me and you told me you got a guitar.
Whenever
you were up at college. Oh my God. You were like, "I got a guitar." And I was like, "Where did you get a guitar from?" You were like, "I ordered it off Amazon." And I was like, "Of course you did."
It was an impulsive purchase, and I was really glad. I used it quite frequently.
Yeah. I mean, you used it. I mean, you learned how to play and stuff. It wasn't like you never touched it.
I mean,
I'm sorry. I keep looking up like this. There's a bird. There's a bird that has a nest in the corner of my house, and it's fighting off other birds, and it's like I have the attention span of a gnat, so I keep looking and seeing if it won or not.
I thought you were gonna say you had a bird nest in the left, the upper left of the room.
Oh yeah, he's just chilling right up here. Yeah,
I was gonna be like, whoa.
No. It's right there by my back door. But if you walk out the back door and you make a big scene, well, we have 2 ginormous dogs. I think my dog's in here somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
He's in here somewhere.
Tig.
See if he'll get on camera.
Come here. Come on.
There's Tig. Hi, Tig.
There he is.
Hi, Tig.
There's my first son, and then Baloo's out there.
He's like, I haven't seen him in forever.
yeah, he's been laying right there by the door. But yeah, so anytime the dogs go out, the mother bird flies away. And so it scared the shit out of me. One day I was walking to the car and I didn't realize that it was there. So a little bit I've been working in the garage, and so I noticed that the other day we had a really strong windstorm 2 weeks ago. Do you remember that? Or a week ago? Okay, well the sirens are going off for a tornado. It was kind of bonkers outside.
I was probably sleeping.
Yeah, you probably were. But so the wind had picked up really strong, and it knocked the nest out of where it is. It's right there by the back door. And and so I picked it up and I tried to set it back up there. Well, birds, if you touch their shit, they don't come back. They don't. If you touch baby birds, their eggs and stuff, the mothers won't come back because they can smell you. Yeah, it's a real thing. I know
nothing about biology, so
right. I took biology freshman year.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
All right. Right. I know. I'm an animal expert, buddy. I took biology freshman year, and then animal science. So I'm basically a zoologist. Anyway, so I set it back up there. Well, then she knocked it back down. I was like, you dumb little bird. And I was like, I tried to help you out. So then in 2 days, I'm not kidding, 2 days, she built a new nest and had eggs, laid eggs right up there. Not joking. I was like, holy shit. I was like, okay. I guess she was mad that I touched it. So now she's just Jay Cool and she's sitting on it, but she was like fighting people off. She was like, I was like, whoa, you were talking and they were fighting. And I was like, oh my God.
I glanced to the left. I had the door shut and see one of the cats. I was just talking about kind of like nudged it open.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I was like, wait, what? I was like, maybe someone's here. I'm gonna get mugged mid podcast. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
It's like when people, you remember, I was just thinking about this the other day in the shower. No, random shower thoughts. You remember when people used to get swatted?
I still do.
Do you remember that though? No, but I mean, I probably do. Yeah, but you remember when it was huge and like it was left and right, people were getting swatted. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, what if somebody were to do that? You know what I mean? Like, get a hold of your address and
it's
be like,
one of the scariest thoughts. Like, as a streamer, like as somebody that does that daily, I've got to be very careful. You know,
yeah.
And the same on the podcast, not to give out too much personal information because there's some people out there, whether or not they be adults or kids or whatever, that think that's funny.
Right. I think that's not a federal offense.
Yeah, there's been instances. I don't have any like specific sources I can cite right now or anything, but I've read and seen some things where swatting incidents will go wrong. Either they'll get the wrong house by like a couple houses, and some random family gets swatted.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know what swatting is, it was something that really originated in the streaming community on Twitch. Is really where the prevalent cases were kind of seen.
Right.
Is where someone that's streaming, whether or not they be playing video games or just doing something like an IRL, so this is the channel name in real life, they'll figure out that person's personal information, where they live, really is all they need, the address of where they live, and they will call the authorities and pretend to be like doing something insane. Like they'll say like, oh, I just murdered my whole family. Like they'll say something like that that's going to get the attention of like the SWAT team, like a big event going on, and they'll call that. It'll be a completely false claim. So the person streaming will typically have a face cam where you can see them, kind of like you can see us on the podcast here, and like the SWAT will like rush their house.
Yeah, it would be like somebody. It'd be like somebody running right through this back door and then just like tackling me to the ground. Like that's what it would look like. It was like I remember like sophomore, junior year of high school, like that being like a huge thing. Like I remember like Lizard Squad happening then, and like there were some big name people that were getting hit, and that was like Lizard Squad was like it was like 10 or 12 guys in a house, and they bought like a huge house, and they were all like in one room, and they would all stream together. They would be in separate rooms or whatever, but they got swatted, and like you could just see it. I mean, they just like come in out of nowhere and they've got their guns out and they're, get on the ground and blah, 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 but they didn't do anything. They're just sitting there playing video games.
It's truly heartbreaking because not only is that a waste of the first responders' time, like something could have actually been happening. Not only that, but that's also scarring to the people that it happens to.
I mean, God, I couldn't imagine that.
I've never been in that situation, obviously, but we have a whole SWAT team rushing you. I can imagine you don't just get up and be like,
going through your mind. No. Yeah. I just got swatted. No big deal.
Yeah.
No, like you obviously think it's kind of like I saw what was it? It was like a meme or something the other day. It was like whenever you get called down to the principal's office in high school and you're like running through your head of what you did, and you go all the way back to whenever you're 3 years old and you like kicked your mom's leg, like it's like shit like that. Yeah, you're like, oh, they caught me, like. But I mean, I wonder what goes through somebody's head when that shit happens. Like, what goes through your mind? You're like, oh my God, what did I do? Did I download something wrong? Did I, I mean, you can get in trouble for illegally downloading things or whatever, but I mean, I don't think that would be a SWAT offense, but still, I mean, it's unbelievable.
I actually, speaking of getting called to the principal's office, I was typically, let me say typically, I was typically a good student in high school. But I did, however, get into trouble here and there, but minor things. Right. However, there was one instance where I and a couple of my friends had got called to the principal's office. And it wasn't like, over an intercom, like, can so-and-so come to, like, can Dylan come to the office,
Was your teacher?
No.
Oh,
They
because that's the worst.
they like pulled me over as I
Oh,
was
forget
entering the
that.
building.
No, that's
Yeah,
terrifying.
so I was really scared. So here's what we did. I'll get into that story. So
Oh Lord.
we would have our school lunches.
What grade was this? Hold on, what
Senior
grade
year.
was this?
Senior year.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was
Later in your high school.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was pretty late in senior year. It was like probably February, March.
Right.
So everyone's got their school lunches that they don't typically like. Like, oh, today we're having so and so. I don't really like that.
Yeah.
So me and my friends, obviously, we were seniors. A lot of us had jobs. We're like, you know what we can do? We can order pizza.
Oh my God, I remember this. Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, we'll all pitch in. Pitch in. And we thought we were tough. We called the pizza place. So the way our high school would work is we would have different lunches. Like we would have 3 different half-hour periods where you would have lunch.
Oh my God.
And you would get, depending on what class you had, is depending on what lunch you would have. So
Mm-hmm.
we called during the first lunch that we didn't have. So the lunch before we had.
lunch.
So we gave it like a 30-minute buffer. So they would have time to make it, We were thinking ahead. We were smart.
Oh, see, you had B lunch.
Yeah, yes. We had.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're like, okay, place the order. I had actually placed the order on my phone, so I get a phone call like 3 minutes before our lunch starts. I'm like, I'm in the middle of class, I can't answer.
Right.
But I knew who it was. I answered it like last second. I was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, we're here. And we had told them to go to like the side door of the school, not the main office, because we were trying
over by like the auditorium.
Yeah. So we're like, we're like, we're all good. So me and 2 of my friends went to go pick it up because we had got like 2 large pizzas, 2 liters. Like we were having like a birthday party.
Oh yeah.
And so we get it. We pay the guy. We're like, thanks, man. Here's your tip. Get it, everything. We're smooth sailing. And nothing happens. So we carry it, and my friend that has the pizza, I have the 2 liters in a bag. You know what I mean? And my friends that have the pizza throw their sweatshirt over it to hide it.
Right.
We weren't thinking.
I'm just holding a square sweatshirt. No big deal.
Well, we walked past the main office on our way back, not like through it, but past it, and we saw our principal was in the office. I'm like, oh man, I hope he doesn't see us. Just keep walking, act like nothing's going on. We were just carrying 2 large pizzas, And we get to the room, we eat, everything's fine. We think we're off scot-free.
Right.
All right. So we're in the middle of class. A piece of paper is slid under the door. And
what class were you in?
It was in calculus. It was in calculus.
Okay.
So a piece of paper is slid under the door, and our teacher goes over and picks it up. And our teacher had known. We were kind of close with the teacher. He advised us not to do it. He said, don't do it. You guys are going to get in trouble.
Right.
Don't do it.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he said, do not do it. But, of course, we're seniors in high school. We don't care. We did it anyways.
It's your last year. Fuck it.
So this note gets slid under the door, and the teacher goes up there and picks it up. And he makes eye contact with me and my buddies. We knew.
You're screwed at that point.
So this note said that they had watched the cameras and had seen that we had ordered pizza, and that the pizza place called and said they were shorted $20.
Oh my God.
And we're like, wait, what? No, we paid him. We paid everything. He wouldn't have gave it to us if we didn't pay him all the money. So, we're freaking out. And so our teacher, calls my office, says, funny joke, da, da, da. And then, the secretaries didn't know what was going on. They're like, what?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know who wrote the note. So, we're freaking out. We're like, did we really short these people money? I'm like, what? Anyways, day ends. Nothing comes of it. We're thinking. So me and my buddies all had an off-campus class for our first class of the day. So we had to go to our off-campus class and then go on campus, come to the actual high school and do the rest of our day.
Right.
So obviously we're friends, so we walk together inside the building and stuff. Well, all 3 of us walk in, and the secretaries at the desk, the office help, say, "We need you 3 to come over here." And we're like,
"Oh God."
Welp. We kind of knew what was coming because of the note, but we're I'm scared. I mean, I can't speak for them, but I was like, you know,
going to the principal's office is not a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was like, what is going to happen?
Right.
And so obviously we all go into the principal's office, and he sits down, and obviously we weren't like, we didn't cause a bunch of trouble. We weren't the kind of crowd that would do that intentionally, you know. We were very respectable. We sat down, and when he asked us if we had done it, you know, we're like, yes, we did. We didn't lie, nothing like that. You know, we were very honest.
There's no sense at that point they have you on camera.
Yeah, it's no sense to be like, no, it wasn't me. So, you know, we figured, you know, we knew what we were doing was wrong. We were going to get in trouble. So we're sitting there, and he asks us, he's like, did you do it? And we're like, yes. He's like, kind of explained why that's not allowed, you know, the safety behind it, like if anything could have happened with us going to the side door, you know, which are all very valid reasons, you know.
Right. He's got a point.
but he obviously he wanted to have some fun with us too, because, you know, like I said, we weren't always the ones to get in trouble. So he let us in. He said, I wrote the note. I made up the $20 missing.
Wow.
He's like, they didn't say anything about that. I just wanted to scare you guys. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
He's like, I just thought I'd have some fun and games with it. And then he like looked at us all sitting there, and he says, by the way, sweatshirt's not the best way to
you know, that's awesome.
You know, so
that's funny.
He had obviously had disciplined us. So we had all gotten in like a warning and then some slight trouble. Be like, hey, if you do it again, there's going to be, you know, we got our discipline.
Right.
But he had some fun.
You got your scare.
Yeah. Right. He had some fun with it too. Obviously, we didn't do it again for the rest of the year. We were like, okay, you know, we messed up once and go mess up again.
Right.
You know, but that's a story that I love.
Oh, man.
You know, and it's a good story because nothing bad ended up coming of it. I mean, if something bad would have happened, I would have felt awful. But, you know, it's just something it's a lot of fun to reminisce on. And I don't know if our principal of the time will ever hear this podcast, but if he does, I want to just let him know that, you know, that's one of my favorite memories from high school.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You really scared me on that. And I want to thank you because it was fun. It was a fun scare, you know? Right. You disciplined while also, you know, having a little fun with it.
Have a little fun. Yeah, you might as well. It's your senior year too. Like that's kind of thing. My senior year, I had government with one of my good friends, and you know the teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the greatest teachers of all.
Yes.
And so GB anyway. So he was like, we were watching Forrest Gump or something. Like we never did anything in government. But anyway,
we played Presidential Pictionary.
Yes, we played that as well. That was fun. So my buddy and I, I'll tell you his name. I'm not going to tell you his last name, but Andy and I, we went to get some waters. We went to go get a drink. Mm-hmm. So we go down to the vending machine. Well, there was one that was kind of janky. If you did a certain sequence, you could get 2 Powerades, or sometimes you get 3 Powerades. But we were just going to get some waters. Powerade was out. So this is when like they went to the 0 sugar stuff and whatever. So it wasn't as good. So we were like, we'll just get a water. So we hit the button. And he pokes the thing. Well, then, you know, you had to like press a button like really, really rapidly fast, and you got a second one. He gets 3. So 3 waters pop out of the bottom. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. So I had another $1. All right, are you going to edit that out?
We'll see.
Okay, all right, well, we'll find out. I didn't talk very much during the whole thing. But anyway.
If we edited it out, you guys won't know what we edited out. But just know that we did. And now we're going to continue with
So anyway, he popped out 3 waters. So I was like, well, I have an extra $1, so I'll just put my $1 in, see what I get. We ended up, I'm not joking, I have a picture of it somewhere. I think it's on my Instagram. We got 23 waters out of this machine.
For $1?
23. For $2.
Oh, $2.
I put in $1, got 3 waters. He put in $1, got 3 waters. I put in $1, got 20. It just kept spitting them out. It wouldn't stop. We didn't know what to do, so we went to the office. So we got a cart. One of those plastic carts that teachers used to push around, like the art teachers had, like Dusty had all the time. Mm-hmm. So we would, I put them all on this cart. I took it to the office, and the ladies, because I was pretty close with the office people, and I told them, I was like, I was like, they said, how did it go? It was like, how did you do that? And I said, we put in $2 and it spit out 23 waters. And they were like, well, I don't, what are we supposed to do with all these waters? And I was like, well, we can like walk around the school and like give them out to people if you want. Yeah, there was nothing else we could do, but we were like in class. So we were walking around to like our favorite teachers and stuff. And like we were walking around to different teachers and like handing waters out. Like you're like, there, you want a water? Here, you want a water? Like, because we didn't know what to do with them. And you can't put them back in the machine. The school doesn't have a key to put them back in the machine.
Yeah, actual companies would come and do that.
Yeah, the Coca-Cola person has to do that. Like they have to come and put it back in the machine. So it wasn't like one of those things that we could be like, oh yeah, there's 23 waters lying on the floor. Can you send somebody from Indianapolis to come and like put waters back in the fridge? It just doesn't work like that. So we're just handing them out. Oh my God, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. That was hilarious. That was a good time. That was something that I remember. And I mean, I don't want to tell all the stories now because we have a lot more podcasts to go, but there's a lot of stories from our school days that we could talk about.
Dude, we have so many stories from just us. Like when we started hanging out, probably like a year and a half ago. We probably have so many. I mean, we have a whole steak and shake saga.
Yes.
We do. We do have. To preview that. Oh, you were fine. You were fine. Remember that little edit thing I did? Yeah. Okay. You're fine. They're good. Everyone listening to this and watching this is going to be like, what? And I know the pain because they're going to want to know what I edited out.
Right.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I've
No,
betrayed your trust.
Can't happen. We'll fix it. We'll fix it afterwards.
Mm-hmm. It's going to look really awkward because there's no way we're going to be able to edit that like crisp. It's going to be like.
It's no big deal.
That's why I kind of did the buffer there. I was like, if I edited it.
Yeah. You'll see it. If not, we don't know.
But that's the crazy thing is we do all these things that we're not going to realize are going to make stories. Like the pizza, for example. We didn't order that pizza thinking, this is going to be a funny story. And
you're not going to think about this in 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it was. And I mean, we still have some crazy stories from our adventures. And one I want to bring up because I'm thinking about it because how Snapchat has like the memory feature, like a year ago on this day. Mm-hmm. So this popped into my memomes a couple days ago.
Bird's back.
Is it?
She's still fighting off enemies. Anyway, go ahead.
And may I say 130 above?
You see the post on Facebook where it's like, since sports aren't around, Robins are beating the Blue Jays like 10-1 or whatever. That's what I'm watching. The Robins are beating the Robins like 1-0 right now. 1-2. Fended off two of them. So she's up 2-0.
There she goes.
Right.
But the story I wanted to mention was when we went to a nightclub. Obviously,
my gosh, yeah.
I'm younger, so it was an 18+ nightclub. Just where you go and dance and have some fun. That had popped up into my memories, and I remember that was like my first big like social, like public event.
It was a fun time.
I've been to like fairs and stuff like that, but this was like very, as you can tell from like my outfit, even I'm not very like urban.
Right.
I'm not like. Out in the country, like
downtown. Yeah.
I'm kind of like in the middle. I have a little bit of city influence, also a little bit of country influence. So this was weird. This was foreign territory. I'm like, whoa. We walked in, and obviously the music is so loud, and there's all these different kinds of people. I'm talking all kinds. I mean, you've got people that look like they've been clubbing since they were 2 years old. I mean, there's people that like own the dance floor. Like I'm talking, they've got this huge group and they're just having a good time. I mean, then you also have the people that are there, like the DJs and stuff that you can kind of, they'll come off. Like they do like shit.
and the old people standing in the back just going like this.
Yeah, the bouncers. If you've never
just standing there.
If you've never seen a bouncer in real life, they're very similar to how you see it in television.
Yeah. They wear sunglasses and they just stand in the back and they just go like this.
Like they are big, intimidating dudes that are just back there. They're like,
yeah.
Hard. Like they don't even.
Yeah.
And it's like, nice to meet you. But that was a lot of fun, and then that popped into my feed, and I'm like, man, I really want to go do that, but we can't because of everything going on. But,
right.
I
But
definitely.
no, those are good times. There's a lot of stories between Dylan and I. I mean, like I said, we've known each other. We said it in the last one, probably 5 or 6 years now. And I mean, from driving to Marion at 2:00 in the morning, or driving to Ball State at 1:00 in the morning, or driving to these different places. And we went to Kentucky at 3:00. We left when I got off work at 2:00 in the morning. Like, just drove to Kentucky to go see your grandparents. Why not? Like, we just do random things like that, and it's been so much fun. That's been a good time. But yeah, we have a lot more stories. It doesn't just stop with some random Snapchat videos. We have so many things that have happened.
Tons. And we have tons of crazy things that have happened. I mean, like, not crazy as in, like, I don't know, lunacy, but crazy as in, like, unexplainable. We have, like, crazy things that have happened that we're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
That, honestly could probably never happen again.
Right.
That we're just kind of like, whoa.
Right.
I
will never forget. I'll tell one quick story. I will never forget. One of my best friends, his name's Kurt, and Curtis. We lived together for a short period of time. And Dylan was a little tired. He was falling asleep in my chair in the house. And so Kurt got the idea. He was sitting on the couch with me, and Dylan was in a blue chair off on the corner. And he was like dozing off. We were watching a movie, and Kurt was like, he was one of those people that if he wanted to show you something, you had to stay awake for it. And he got really mad when you didn't stay awake for it. So Dylan's dozing off in the chair, and Kurt goes outside. It had snowed, and it was really, really good packing snow. Kurt comes in, rockets a snowball in Dylan's mouth. I've never seen this kid come alive so fast in my life. I want to get Kurt on here to tell the story because he tells it so much better. But he
shot up. I went,
literally, I've never seen. I have 10-foot ceilings in my house. Dylan hit 11 feet. I mean, the kid went flying out of this chair. Oh my God! I have never laughed that hard in my entire life.
Because I mean, when you're
dead asleep, you were dead asleep, and he smoked you with a snowball.
I mean, I'm sure everyone's had their experience of being asleep and like if you live with someone coming home and kind of scaring you awake a little bit because you weren't expecting it.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain. When you're just out, you think you're safe. You're in a familiar place. You're like, I'm taking a nap. And then, pow, snowball right to the face.
But it was like you were out for like 5 minutes. It wasn't like you were out for hours. You were out for like 5 minutes, and he was like, nah, he's not going to sleep. So he just impaled you with a snowball. Just
talk about a wake-up call.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, if you ever want anybody to wake you up, call my buddy Kurt.
Yeah, that's definitely
he can either pick you up and throw you, or he'll hit you in the face with a snowball.
Mm-hmm. What else was I going to talk about? I had one more thing planned, like that I wanted to mention because I hadn't talked to you about it yet, and it's going to come to me in like 1, 2, 3. Here it is. No, so it was too. I was just waiting for it. So back to what I was talking about, way back at the beginning, about when I was streaming Lego The Hobbit.
Oh yeah.
So I'm working on like that room I was telling you about when we moved, the actual stream like deck set. Mm-hmm. I'm trying this out. I'm trying to brand myself, essentially. I mean, not really. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. It's like the point of the creative platform.
Right.
But I'm going to try to do like a series where I'm doing all the Lego like titles, like the big ones anyways. So like right now I'm on Lego The Hobbit. I'm thinking about going on the Lego Harry Potter next. I'm very excited.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know anything about Harry Potter. I mean,
I watched them a couple years ago, but I couldn't tell you what is going on.
I know
the main character's name.
Yeah, I do too. It's Bart Simpson.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh no, that's another cool thing. You have Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you get on Disney
Plus, on there, I saw that.
Well, no, yeah, unbelievable. But they have little categories. So it's called the Simpsons collection, and if you click on it, it's broken down into different collections. So like there's the sports collection, where if you click on that, it's all the Simpsons episodes that involve sports.
Related to sports. Wow, that's cool.
Now they have one. This is the cool thing. They have one called the Prediction Collection, where it's all the episodes where the Simpsons supposedly predicted future events.
Wow. That's kind of cool though, because that's been a big thing. That was a big thing. I mean, Trump 2020, it predicted it. 9/11, it predicted it. It said 7/11, but still, you got the 11 right, and you have the tragedy that happened. it has some really big things that are correct. It's kind of terrifying.
Matt Groening is actually a time traveler.
Time
confirmed.
traveler. Yes. He is from the past or from the future.
He could be from both.
He could be from the past. Yeah, he could have predicted a lot of things. Who knows?
He's actually Johnny Appleseed's twin brother.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to comment on that. I was going to say something. I was like, we're just going to
skip over that one.
Yeah, skip over that one real quick.
Fix it later.
I got to mention, I'm low key craving Subway.
Why do we have the same brain? I was literally in Walmart the other day picking up some stuff for the house, and I was like, I just want Subway. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. We've had Jimmy John's 2 or 3 times now, but I know. And I was like, oh, this sounds so good. Like I don't know what it is.
Well, the reason I get the same thing every time I go to Subway. I get the steak and egg footlong. So what I'll do is I'll get the steak and egg. It's a breakfast sandwich technically. Right. So I get the foot long, so there's 2 different 6 inches.
What bread?
Flatbread.
Oh, okay.
I do flatbread.
Because you have to go Italian herbs and cheese if you're doing anything. Don't even add me on that. Everybody in the comments will love it. Go ahead.
No. On one half of the sandwich, I'll do a white egg, and then the other half I'll do a yellow egg. So I've got 2 different ones. Like egg whites.
Wait, you just do egg whites on one side, yolks on the other?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, Dylan, eggs are either white or brown, and the white is on the outside. I was trying to figure out how the hell you did that. Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, it's very good that way because it's 2 very different tasting sides. And then obviously steak on both. Now, how I'll get it is I will get their sweet onion. Now, it's the only way that I'll actually use the sweet onion. I'm kind of like, you know what? That's what's really good. The sweet onion. I'm like,
yeah. If I could figure out their recipe on that, oh my god.
But I can't use it if it's not on that egg sandwich. So that's why I always get it.
Really? See, get the sweet onion chicken teriyaki. It'll change your life forever.
Maybe.
With sweet onion sauce. Yeah. So that's what I get. I'll tell you my order. I get a foot long on Italian herbs and cheese. It used to be called Monterey cheddar for all those OGs out there, but it's called Italian herbs and cheese. And I get the my camera keeps focusing. It's driving me nuts. You get the sweet onion, or not the sweet onion. You get the teriyaki chicken on the one side. I get pepper jack cheese on the other. Okay. You just put it in the microwave. You warm it up for like 30 seconds. Just get the cheese nice and a little melty. Put green bell peppers on there, and you put spinach and a couple tomatoes if you like to. I love tomatoes, but if you don't like tomatoes, okay.
Tomatoes.
And then sweet onion sauce. Put a healthy amount of sweet onion sauce on there. Best thing I've ever had in my entire life. I'm sorry. But I do like steak and eggs. I mean, steak and eggs is a staple. I mean, if you're American, you like steak and eggs.
I'm not going to flex. I don't have anything to flex.
Get your protein.
But I ain't got anything to flex.
Me neither. It's fun.
So, no, I was doing something kind of fun today. Something kind of new. So I do listen to music, obviously. I'm pretty sure everyone out there listens to music. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to vibe. I'm going to vibe in my room for a minute. So I remember the speaker, the expensive speaker.
Yes.
TJ Maxx.
Yes, I do.
I used it today, and I got on your playlist that you made, the car playlist, and I was just like,
cheap plug. Follow my playlist on Spotify. Go ahead.
There's only like half the songs that I listen to on that playlist. Like, it's very weird. So I'm like flip.
Yeah, it's got a lot of oldies, a lot of new things, a lot of throwbacks, a lot of random. It's a random assortment, but I love it.
So I was sitting there and I was playing Smite, which is a MOBA. It's a very competitive game. Right. I'm not going to get into that. I could talk for another 3 hours about that. So I was playing that, and I had my headphones on to hear the game, but I was wearing them kind of like this. So, like, I was hearing music. It's weird. Like, I was in my own little space. I'm like, I'm doing my own thing today. Just, listening to music, playing Smite. And typically I'm always talking to people if I'm online. Either I'm streaming or I'm talking to my friends. This was I was just doing my thing. And I'll tell you, it was good, like, what's the term? Self-care. It was like one of those self-care days where it's like, you know what? I'm just having a good time. I'm by myself having a good time, which I haven't had in a while. Because
it's good to have those relaxed days.
Yeah, I mean, despite not being able to, like, come over to your house or do anything like that, as a gamer, I am very involved socially with my friends.
Right.
I'm talking to them every day through the internet. And I
Right.
mean, it's not the same as, being at your buddy's house, give him a hug, something like that. But, I'm still in contact.
Right.
Kind of if you call or FaceTime somebody.
Right.
So it hasn't really, the whole isolation part hasn't really hit me in the same way that I feel like it's probably hit some other people. Especially people that are less tech savvy, that aren't really into the whole technology world, kind of are more old fashioned.
Right.
And doing that today with the music and all that jazz was like a first bit of that, and I kind of liked it, but I can see where that's like one of those things like, I need interaction, so
I really feel for people that are introverts that don't like to really go out. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I'm a very big extrovert. I love to go out and spend time with people and go do things on a regular basis. And so I don't like to stay at home. I don't like to be here all the time. I really feel for people that have, anxiety and depression and things like that, that it's a serious time. I mean, it's not a healthy thing to just stay in your house 24/7 and really kind of being forced to do that. Like, we went for a drive the other day, and we stopped somewhere to get some food. I asked the lady, I said, so what is your town like doing as far as like mandating rules for certain things? And they've limited the amount of people that come into Walmart as one of them, and they've done some other really big things to keep people at home. And now, the stay-at-home rule supposed to be talked about today for Indiana is to stay at home until May 1st, and I was listening to some updates yesterday about the coronavirus and things like that, and how they're helping small businesses and companies like that to help them survive through all of this, because it's terrible. It really is. It's terrible to see some of these places that we're going to lose them. We're going to lose them because they can't afford to stay open. And it's really, it's awful to see. It's something I wanted to say in the last podcast, and I forgot whenever we were talking about it, is that, we come from a very small hometown, and there's a lot of things in this hometown that can't survive without business. And a lot of things that have been here for years. I mean, for example, there's a restaurant, and I think you know exactly what I'm talking about, up on the square.
Yep.
That has been here for damn near 100 years. I guarantee it. I
Probably
mean, they've been here for a long time, and it's one of those that doesn't do carry out. It doesn't do delivery. It's not doing that now. And I probably did before.
It's small family owned.
Right.
4 or 5 people.
Right. But they can't afford to have those things implemented. But then you see like El Reparo here in town that has they just put in a new drive-through window for them. Which is awesome because then they get to do business. But that's a big, not really a chain. I've seen a few El Reparos. There's not a huge chain, I guess, but there's just a lot of places that are going to survive and a lot of things that aren't. And the things that aren't is going to suck because that's what draws people to our hometown.
Absolutely. Yeah, the bigger chains, your Taco Bells, your Wendy's, your McDonald's, all those guys, they're fine. They're fine.
Right.
They're big corporations. Some franchises might, it would suck either way because regardless, people would be out of jobs. But some franchises might have to shut like a store or two down from the big chains. But the actual company itself isn't going to go under. Right. Like you said, the smaller companies that are self-sustained really will. They might end up having to do that. I hope not, but you never know.
Yeah, I hope not too. I really don't want to jinx anything and say that they're going to close, but for those people that live in our hometown, you know what I'm talking about, and it's something that is very, very important to some people that live here, myself included, and I'm sure you have been there. It's a delicious place to eat, but you just don't want to see it go under. It's kind of unfortunate.
Because we are getting towards the end here. I was looking at the time. To kind of change things to a bright note, we do. I'm comfortable announcing this. We have plans for next week, next Saturday. You know what I'm talking about? Yes.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
Yes.
Podcast. So as you guys know, this is obviously only the second episode. We're not like an established podcast yet or anything. But me and Aaron here are the two hosts of the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're always here unless one of us can't be sick, or unless one of us
can't be sick. We can't be sick.
Unless one of us is sick and can't make it to the show, it might be like one of us and somebody else. But typically every week you're going to see me and Aaron. That's because we're the hosts. But next week we have planned to have a special guest.
Yes.
Maybe people that you've got on the podcast will know, but the people that know me probably won't know. But
yeah,
we're still very excited. Still very excited to have this person. Now, just in case plans change, we're not going to say who it is. Hopefully, though, everything works according to plan, and we are looking at getting our first episode with a guest up on next Tuesday. So yes, next Tuesday, because this will be out on Tuesday. This isn't recorded on Tuesday.
Right.
So from the day that you're watching this, 7 days from that day. Let me actually look at a calendar because I can tell you the exact day. On April 28th. 21st is tomorrow. So this episode is tomorrow.
That's right.
On the 28th of April will be our first episode with a special guest. I've got a couple people lined up. We have one in particular that we are looking forward on to bringing for that episode. The reason I don't want to tell you guys yet is because that could change. But it will for sure, mark my words, will for sure be the first episode with a guest. Will be April 28th. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, and we have other people lined up too. Yes. Not just him. We have people have reached out to me. Sorry, I thought there was a bug. Mm-hmm. People have reached out to me to ask to be on the show, to be kind of part of it. They just want to talk and have a good time. Mm-hmm. I have some people in mind that I want to ask. For instance, my buddy Kurt. You know, he's not the guest for Saturday, but he is somebody who I'd love to have on the show. He's got some great stories. We grew up together since we were 5-6 years old. We have a lot of stories. So, and the guest that we want to have for next week, we've been friends for about a year. He knows Dylan pretty well. So we have plenty of stories, plenty of backup stories, work buddies and things like that. So we've definitely got some fun stuff coming up. But yeah, good time. Really excited.
So obviously at the end, since we're just starting, I don't like to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Definitely be sure to follow the Instagram on the floor 20, follow the Facebook page just on the floor, subscribe to my YouTube channel at the moment, which is where this podcast has its temporary home. Mew52, that's MEWFIVE, and then the number 2 on YouTube.
Yep.
That's where you'll find the podcast for now. We're looking, obviously right now, with being in quarantine and all that jazz, Zoom, we're using Zoom, so thank you, Zoom, for all of your products that we're able to use and get this recorded while being separate. We're looking forward to becoming an actual brand, in a sense, starting our own little business. We're in the planning stages. So once all this stuff is lifted, we're going to work on, getting it built, getting it its own platform to be on, maybe going to your bigger platforms such as Spotify, stuff like that. Right now, very early, starting off, we just want to get something out there for you guys.
Just don't want to take a chance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to take a chance of I mean, that's a big step for some people. I mean, Spotify is a big step. Apple Music is a big step. So you want to make sure that it's going to be something that people like, people want to listen to, before we really try to take off and do those kinds of things. But we hope it does, and it's been fun. I've had a lot of fun already. I mean, you're nervous before every single episode, but once you start going, I mean, it's perfect. I mean, it's just like talking to your best friend, which is what we are. So it's just Jay Cool, and you're just talking and whatever. It's no big deal. But it like I said, it's definitely been something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'll keep you updated on how if the Robin scores any more points.
Definitely, I want to know.
Sure, yes. Yeah.
Anywho,
next episode we'll have a tally in the background. I'll just be like ticking it. Yeah.
Edit a little scoreboard in the back.
Yeah. If you have any birds, that's a grand slam. Yeah, perfect.
No. But anywho, guys, that's why right now it is super important for your guys' feedback. The early stages are the best time for that
Yes.
feedback, because we're just getting our footing. We can change really quickly, especially once we get some stuff added in. Later on, we're not going to be able to do it. But anywho, that's all we really wanted to do today. This is going to be the end of the episode. I'm done. You got anything else you want to add?
Numero dos. No, just appreciate everybody coming out, checking it out. I'll have it posted up here once Dylan has it done. It'll come out tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
So it will be grand, be delicious.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll definitely see you next week in the next one. All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.